Welcome to Observer Now. I'm Brian McMillan, publisher of the Observer, and I have with me Greg Hansen from the County Commission. Hello, Greg.
Hi, how you doing?
So Greg has been serving by November, when the next election comes about, and Greg fully retires. He will have been serving that District 2 for almost 10 years. So thank you for your service to the community. You've told me before that the Hammock area, so you serve east of 95, north of Beverly Beach, all the way to St. John's. And you've told me before that because that area, just about all of it, is unincorporated, that you're kind of like the government representative of that area.
Sure, the Barrier Island, if we'll call it that, is unincorporated. The rest of my district, 98% of my district, it falls under Palm Coast, and so they have government. The unincorporated area out in the Outer Banks has no government. I jokingly say I'm the mayor.
The mayor of the mayor of the Hammock.
Of the Hammock. And but because that's who they come to me if we have a problem. They come to me.
So let's start with the Hammock a little bit more. So the overlay has come up in recent meetings. So it's a kind of a set of rules that is a little different from the rest of the unincorporated area governing development. For example, they can't build a warehouse in the Hammock,
right,
whereas you could somewhere nearby, near the Hammock. Why is that overlay so important to people in the Hammock?
Well, if you think about it, it's the only hammock, as I understand it, it's the only hammock left in Florida, true hammock left.
Meaning like old Florida.
Old Florida trees, all the trees, and the county owns a lot of trees in the Hammock. We still do, the greenways. But the Hammock Community Association, their primary job and their desire is to try to keep it that way. Try to keep the scenic view. It's a scenic highway already, and it's already been designated one of America's highways.
Jimmy Buffett Highway.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Buffett Highway. So it's a beautiful stretch, and up until today, there were no streetlights, hardly any streetlights. I mean, stoplights on. There's one going in now on Camino del Mar. It's going in right now today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a beautiful stretch of A1A, and they want to keep it that way. They're responsible for the whole Hammock. Mm-hmm. The scenic A1A is only the road, mm-hmm, and the two beach roads. That's all they're concerned about. The Hammock Community Association is the whole Hammock.
Yeah. So the Hammock, a lot of people may not realize it in Palm Coast, but because of the higher property values there, they contribute a lot to the community's property revenue.
Right. That's true, but be careful how you distinguish that, because the high value properties are on the beach.
Yeah. Come
a block off the beach, not so much. And Hammock Dunes, the resort, mm-hmm, Ocean Hammock. They certainly are higher priced houses, but even in their developments, if the house is on the beach, big difference from one block off the beach.
Right.
So, but then you get west of A1A. No.
Not as high values.
No.
Would you say though, thinking about property, the property tax reform that's going to be on the ballot in November. I've been thinking about what is the impact to the Hammock of that particular amendment, because you would potentially eliminate up to $250,000 worth of property value, and that eliminates a lot of Flagler County. I mean, almost not all of it, but a lot of Flagler County would then pay no property taxes, which would mean that a lot of the higher value ones would maybe be taxed more. Is that a possibility?
No. But that if it passes, the homeowners, and especially the high value, they will benefit, because their property taxes are going to go down.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to go to zero, but theirs are going to go down. We can talk about that later, but I have a lot of comments on that Amendment 3. But we're starting to get into that. We want to talk about the Hammock. So
how would the property tax amendment impact the Hammock? Does anything come to mind about that?
Yeah, it's going to benefit the homeowners and especially the large big homes, and it's going to penalize people who rent. It's going to penalize business, especially small business. So to me, it's a mess, and I'll just put it on the table right now. The scariest thing about Amendment 3 is there's no rules. There's no implementing document. So if the citizens pass it, and I don't believe knowledgeable citizens will pass it, but if it passes, then the legislature gets to write the rules about, okay, now now we've limited what you can take in ad valorem taxes, but now here's how you can spend it, and that's it. You can only spend it. That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, none of that is happening yet.
No,
but it could.
It could. That's what I'm saying is they have not implemented them. So if they pass Amendment 3, then they have to implement it.
So the way, when you're saying property or Amendment 3, which is to mostly do away with property tax as a way that governments can raise revenues, when you say that it would penalize businesses, is that because you assume that the tax rates would have to go up and it would hurt them more, or why would it hurt businesses more than others?
Well, they don't get the homestead reduction. They have to keep paying taxes.
They're not worse off though, but they're not getting the benefits of it.
True.
Yeah, they're not getting the tax cut.
And they're going to be capped at 5% a year of what we can raise on them. But the people that are renting, the guy that owns the house is not getting the break. He doesn't get it, so he's paying for the full load taxes. So he's gonna probably raise his rent annually as his goes up 5% a year.
Okay, so going back to the Hammock overlay again, there was a kind of a disagreement about the boat storage being a warehouse. Do you feel like that is resolved to everybody's satisfaction, or do you think that there's still more that needs to be done to kind of amend that?
It's settled. The Hammock Community Association withdrew their suit.
Yeah. And
we settled with Mr. Million, and so it's proceeding. He started construction on the thing, so I don't think anybody's happy. I don't even think Mr. Million's happy because it's because of all the money he's had.
Isn't that the sign of a good outcome? No one's happy.
No one's happy. Yeah. So I don't know. This, to me, the jury's out. It may turn out to be a wonderful thing. People need places to store their boats, and if there's a new restaurant there, that would be something needed, and that would be good. But we'll see. We'll see.
So do you feel like, my understanding was that the Hammock Community Association withdrew the lawsuit. Their stated reason was because they didn't have the resources to keep fighting
That's true, financially.
Do you feel like they are, it sounded like they wanted more, to be heard more. And you mentioned in the meeting that you have town halls with them. Do you feel like they're getting enough of a say or enough of input into how things are happening with the overlay?
I'm their only vehicle, right, to get it in. And I think I do a good job. But I've been talking to them, and they would like a chance to talk to all 5 commissioners to get their point across, rather than me 4-1 vote. I'm the one, saying no, we're not going to do that. So, and that frustrates them that I'm the only voice they've got, and I'm 1 vote. So I that's what they want to do. And my counsel is wait till after the election, because we could have 2 new commissioners. So wait till then, and then do that.
Well, it's interesting because in some counties, some areas, some cities, everybody elects everybody, and in some places it's you only elect the representative in your district, like Ormond Beach does that, for example. But here, everyone does elect everybody.
Everybody elects everybody.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting that like if they want something done in the Hammock, they really do need to kind of lobby and plead their case to the whole board, right?
And they come out in force.
Yeah.
We'll have a whole room full of green shirts, and they'll all come up and speak.
Yeah.
So 4-1 vote.
Yeah. So let's talk about the data center moratorium. Where does that stand, and why did you support putting a pause on data centers?
Well, I'm very fortunate that my wife is actively against the data centers, and she just feeds me data near no end, and it's scary what's going on with the data centers that have been built, and what's happening around them to the people that own adjoining land and have houses and all that. They're noisy, and the power draw is huge, but a lot of them have created their own power source to run them, but then that's allowed diesel that's running all the time. And the water drain, it depends on the builder. Some of them recycle the water. Some of them are drawing vast amounts of water. There's too little known. There's not enough known yet about them. There are people saying it's the future. It's the way that the whole world's going to go. My comment is not in Flagler County. We're not going to do it here.
I haven't heard a whole lot of proponents of, yes, we want to build one here.
No, there's not.
So it seems pretty
well
straightforward.
One of the candidates for governor is pushing them. So
yeah, Paul Renner
is against them.
In an interview that I did recently, he kind of compared it to, like, right now the data centers that are being proposed are more like the 8-track tapes, and eventually they'll get better and better.
That's one of the.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm concerned about too. That the technology will take it, and then what are you going to do with them? Because some of them are actually hundreds of acres. It's just huge.
Yeah,
it's scary.
So. Yeah. Let's talk about the budget.
Okay.
Is there the constitutional officers are, as every year, and pretty much every department probably says, hey, we could use a little more money. We could use a little bit more. How do you know when to say no to that and when to say yes?
Well, we're going through that right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So the budget that we control, the county commissioners, we've reduced our budget 5%. And we hoped that would be a model for the constituents, but it wasn't. We have the sheriff came in with a big rise. The clerk of courts came in with a big jump. The other three were fine. They're fine. So, but we are gonna restart negotiations again to go back in and say, hey, come on, 5%. We're already seeing the effect of the 5%, and it's not good. I mean, we're cutting services.
What effects do you see? Because I think that's something that I think helps the community to understand. There's a trade-off. Like, yes, there's a little bit less that we're paying in taxes, and then we're going to get a little less for it, obviously.
Right.
But what exactly do we get less of if we cut 5%? What are you expecting?
We're already doing some of it. We had at the end of each of the streets in Marineland Acres, because they dead ended in the beach, we had put a trash can and a doggy station. We just took them all back, and we're putting dumpsters at each park. Saves us $200,000.
$200,000, like over a year.
Over a year.
So because you don't have to empty them very often.
Yeah, we don't have people have to go out.
Just the truck dumps it.
So, but there's more of that coming. And what I see coming in the county, in our area, is out west, the swale. It's not like swales in Palm Coast. The swales in the West County are huge.
Yeah,
and we have
big ditches.
Big ditches.
Yeah,
and they haven't been taken care of. And in the last 6 or 7 years, we have started really doing a good plan. We have a good plan, and we're clearing them all out and everything. Well, I think that goes away. I don't think we can do that anymore. and I worry about firefighters because they're under us; they're not under the sheriff.
Mm.
And so we're already looking at splitting out the EMS and fire and do a countywide MSBU to fund them, so we can adequately fund them. But that means people that are not paying taxes now are going to pay. For instance, a veteran or a police officer or a retired fireman that are 100% disabled and they don't pay property tax. Well, now they're going to pay.
Because those wouldn't be part of the homestead exemption or the exemptions that they get?
Mm-mm. The
Oh,
exemption
because
is
it's an MSBU, not a property tax millage.
That's right.
Okay. I noticed looking at the Volusia County budgets, again, just for comparison, they a few years ago took out like $1.5 million or something or so, I can't remember exactly, but to specifically dedicated to the Volusia Sheriff's Office, and it kind of split off. And I'm wondering, do you feel like that kind of direction, like an MSBU, one benefit of it is that it does provide like some transparency, like in the budget, now we're going to say we're doing this many mills to that, this many mills to that. I know we could go look that up in general, but do you think that kind of having dedicated funding sources could be a positive direction?
Well, we've talked about doing an MSBU for the sheriff, and it does provide visibility of his budget, which we don't have now.
Yeah.
So I don't think Rick would stand for it.
How would it hurt the sheriff's office?
Because his budget would be transparent.
It would. You'd see that it's.
You'd
going
see where
up.
he's spending his money.
Do you think that there is appetite among elected officials to cap or reduce public safety? It seems like that's normally one that everybody is pretty quick to rally around, even if it does mean increasing.
It's my number one thing is public safety.
Yeah.
But we have to be realistic on if we're going to get 60 million cut from our budget, it's got to be spread. So that it's hard, but I don't see defunding him. I just think that his annual increases are going to have to be carefully monitored. Yeah. Because he goes up every year, and the results are good. The results are good.
We're a very safe community. The polls, the surveys show that people feel very safe.
Yep. He's doing a good job.
It's easy to take that for granted until then it shifts a little bit the other direction, right. And then you start noticing. So I can see where nobody wants that to happen.
We don't want it to happen. We don't want to slide back. But I say to people, do you like having the sides of the road mowed? Do you like the trees trimmed? Because that's the first stuff that's going to go. All that kind of stuff is just going to go. So.
One question about the Westward expansion. This has been mostly centered in Palm Coast meetings.
Yeah, we don't have a vote on it. So.
How do you think that it impacts the county if whatever the city does, how does it impact the county, if at all?
Well, I don't think it does. We have our brick road that's out there that we're going to die on our own to save that. We are going to save that road. But they're going to be, city's going to be responsible for water, sewer, fire. We'll still do EMS, so it may impact us. We might have to put another ambulance on, hire another crew and buy another ambulance. But that's so far out in the future. That was it 22,000 homes, and that's 30 years away. So. No impact on it. We own some land out there, but it's protected. Can't build anything on it. So,
do you think that because, as you mentioned, it could be 30 years before it kind of comes to fruition, that do you feel like people are worried about it too much, or is this exactly the right time to be worrying about it so we can kind of plan ahead?
Oh, I think now's the time to worry about it. If you don't like it, be vocal. Tell the city why you don't like it, because it started.
The loop road is under
it's
construction.
under construction. They've started. So.
Very good. So, it's been now a few months since Blaise Ngolia, the CFO, comes into town. Essentially a campaign stop, as you have pointed out in the past. You're kind of on record, like, he had to rent out a
campaign stop.
It was a campaign stop, essentially, but certainly caused some, a lot of discussion in, especially, basically he accused or said that the county had overtaxed everybody by $59 million. And it certainly got people talking about, government efficiency and,
right.
and the value of it.
It's got us talking about it too.
Yeah. So in one sense, has anything positive come out of that? Even though there's been other, a lot of it seemed kind of unfair and campaigny, but has anything positive come out of that?
5% tax reduction.
Do you think that might not have happened as?
No, because we try to reduce every year. So, we have managed to go down 0.01 at least every year
on the millage rate.
On the millage rate, yeah. But it is true that over the last few years, because of the costs, because
it stopped.
Because the home values went up, we got more money.
Right.
So you can't say, we could never say when we reduced it 0.01 or 0.02, you can't go on record and say that's a tax cut. That's not.
Yeah.
We just reduced the ad valorem. And everybody said, why don't you go to rollback? Well, this year, if we go to rollback, taxes will go up. So that's not good. So the thing about Blaise Ngolia thing, and he's a charlatan, he can't point out $1 where $1 of that 59 million. He said, just tell me where $1 of that is, that savings.
Yeah.
We have officially asked, Freedom of Information Act asked for his data. No data.
Well, I think, the plan is kind of what's missing, which is the same issue, circling back to kind of conclude what we're talking about with the property tax, reform. Yeah. We had another, opinion writer in the Observer, Roland Klee, mentioned, like, it's really just going to be put back on, he didn't necessarily see this as a negative thing, but it's going to be put back on the local governments to then figure out how to do it.
To raise taxes.
That could be part of
That's
that. That may be the only solution for,
for
people.
If you want to have a fire department, they're not fenced off. So like the school board is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was really upsetting to me, that whole Blaise Ngolia thing, because it really was. He's trying to get reelected, and he came and just threw those numbers together, and there was no substance to them, no background, no numbers.
Yeah. So let's end on what are some of your favorite things about serving in the county commission and about living in this community?
Well, there's a lot of good things. I mean, I love Palm Coast. I love living in Flagler County. I mean, we fell in love with it. We came down to just look and see what it was like, and we bought a house. I mean, it was that fast. That afternoon, we bought a house.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm real proud of the way I approached the job, and the way that I just opened myself up to anybody out in the Hammock. Just call me,
mm-hmm.
and I used to just go over to their house, sit down and talk to them. Done that for years. I make it a point that I return every email. I should qualify that. If someone sends an email to all of us,
mm-hmm.
then I don't respond to that. I ask the chairman, hey, you should respond to that, because
mm-hmm.
you're the chairman. But I respond to all the emails. I respond to all telephone calls, unless they're somebody screaming and yelling at me, which has not happened. I shouldn't say that. But I really, I like to help people. And this is a great job for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because whether it's in my district or the county somewhere, almost everything we do, we're helping the county. We're doing something to push the county forward, make it better. and that's why I put my name in the hat originally, to when Governor Scott was looking for a replacement. I told Linda, I said, I think I could do that, and I think I could help. And she said, "Oh yeah, go for it." So, and here I am. But I've had a lot of successes out in the Hammock. I've got some good parks, and Bay Drive Park, that was a battle. That was a battle. They just didn't want it. And I just met with them, and I met with them, and I met with them, and pointed out all the pluses and all the minuses if we don't do it. And I had a real vocal minority that was really against it, and now they love it. Everybody loves that park now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, it's great to hear. Like, I hope, one of the reasons I think doing interviews like this is to kind of like understand what are your motivations. Maybe somebody thinks that some of the votes you made, they don't like those votes, but hopefully people can see like why you did it, and we can understand each other a little bit better. So I appreciate taking the time to
sure.
meet and talk about it.
I always enjoy talking to you.
Absolutely, you too. So thank you everyone for watching, and
thank you.
We'll see you next Thursday.